We in here with the biggest sleeper from M20, an underrated, unnoticed card that is getting rated and getting noticed now. And it's probably going to make a big impact in standard and also could possibly make a big impact in eternal format. So we're going to be looking at what some of the pros are saying, and we're going to be looking at some deck lists. But first of all, I want to say welcome in, much love, Trav here. I hope you got some time off this July 4 weekend. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And for just this weekend, I'm putting on sale the Deckmaster ebook, kicking it down from $15 to $9.97. If you haven't gotten that, it's a steal. There's a link to it down below. And also discounting entry into the MTG Mastermind for both the monthly option and the yearly option. You still have to apply so that we can take a look for initiation. And you have to have tournaments on your schedule, you have to be taking serious action, and you have to have a serious specific goal and be coachable. And if you have that, though, this is a great weekend to get started because we're throwing on a sale to make it a little bit easier for you. So the links to that down below. Okay, now let's talk about Risen Reef. 1 green and a blue, 3 mana, 1/1. Whenever Risen Reef or another elemental enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you may put it on the battlefield tapped. If you don't put the card on the battlefield, you put it in your hand. So it's kind of a reprint of Coiling Oracle, which was a decent card. Coiling Oracle saw a little bit of play in standard. It occasionally sees a little bit of play in modern and some scape shift versions, kind of rarely though. And Risen Reef is just a more expensive version, so not very good, right? Well, wrong. And the reason why is because it says or another elemental. So say that Risen Reef is the only elemental that you're playing. Also, let's stop for a second. This got me thinking about it. I saw Brad Nelson tweet. It's a little bit hyperbole, but reminder, when green and blue creatures draw cards, it'll end up being the best thing you can do in standard. Flashback to Rogue Refiner. And then we have Brian Bronduin saying, this card is too good, but it's fun. So how much of that is hyperbole? How much of that is real? So when you have the first Risen Reef, you might draw a card, you might not draw a card. Let me put this on airplane mode so we don't get texts. You might draw a card, you might put a land into play for 3 mana, but the second Risen Reef that you play, it triggers twice. And the third one triggers 3 times. And the fourth one triggers 4 times. It gets a little bit of crazy. And it doesn't just trigger with itself, it triggers with other elementals, such as, I tried to download it. I thought I downloaded it. Wild Growth Walker is one of those elementals, which fits in perfectly with Merfolk Branch Walker, Jadelight Ranger. You got a fuck ton of lands in play. You can play Hydroid Krasis. You can top out with Command the Dreadhorde. Seems like a perfect thing. Command the Dreadhorde, bringing back 2 Risen Reef, 2 Wild Growth Walker, and 2 Jadelight Rangers. You pay 3, 6, 9, 12, 16 life, but you're going to gain 3, 6, 9, 12 life back. You're going to explore 4 times. You're going to Risen Reef trigger 2, 4, 6, 8 times. It's going to be a good time. So you can do that. You could also top off with Scape Shift. Some of y'all saw the Scape Shift brew that I cooked up. That's an alternate win condition so that it thins out your deck and it's giving you, what is it, 7, you get to 16 zombies. Is that all? Yeah, I guess 16 zombies with 8 lands, which should be enough to finish the game in a lot of circumstances, and Risen Reef will help you get there. Now, it also combos with both the Cavaliers in Sultai, Cavalier of Night, lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, you can sacrifice you trigger off of Risen Reef, but you sacrifice it and you destroy their creature, and then when Cavalier of Night dies, you return Risen Reef to the battlefield. That's a lot of value right there, and it's also pretty good board control and makes up for the tempo loss of doing this. Or you have Cavalier of Gales, 5 mana, 5/5 flying. When it enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order, and you put a land on top, and then you put that land into play off Risen Reef, tapped. And then if it dies, you shuffle and you scry 2. So there's a lot that you can do with the Risen Reef. Hang on. But wait, there's more. Young Pyromancer. So apparently people are doing this in Legacy. You could possibly do it in Modern too. So you play your Young Pyromancer, you play your Risen Reef, and then you've got Daze, you've got Force of Will up. Every spell you cast for the rest of the game makes a 1/1 red elemental, and then you get to either draw the card or put it into play if it's a land. That's pretty sick. That's an engine, especially if you're playing Brainstorm, especially if you're playing Ponder, you're playing Serum Visions. and then you have free counter spells, you're probably just going to win at that point. So actually surprising player. Slept on no more. So is it overhyped now? Maybe, maybe not. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Might come back with you an updated Scape Shift version, because this is definitely better than the Elvish Rejuvenator I was playing. And of course, again, I hope you're having a wonderful weekend, holiday weekend in America, July 4, and take advantage of this. You have not very much time, but if you haven't got the ebook, you can get it for just $9.97. If you have not got into the MTG Mastermind, but you want to and you're waiting for an opportunity, now's a good time as ever. This is going to be a link below. You have to fill out an application, and then you'll have some options as far as holiday discounts. So hope you find that useful. Hope you find that helpful. And appreciate you and thank you. And stay tuned for some more giveaways that are going to happen soon. Sent out some t-shirts recently, and there's more coming. So thank you. And if you have any deck lists with Reef, other combos, other things you could do, post in the comments down below. Take care. Much love. Talk to you soon.